Have you ever looked at a small power boat and wondered how far you could take it? Have you ever wondered what kind of an engine you would need to cross an ocean?
No.
Most people don't know this, but in 1902, these two questions were answered by a man named William C. Newman, Captain William C. Newman,
Should be a captain in there somewhere.
and a vessel named the Abbott Low, which is a 33-foot launch, 33 feet at the waterline, 2 foot 8 inches of freeboard, a fuel capacity of 800 gallons with a 10 horsepower engine. Looked on as fools by the public for attempting this feat, Captain William C. Newman and his 16-year-old son left in high spirits, not knowing the arduous journey that lay ahead of them. So let me share with you the log of the Abbott Low from 1902. Don't forget to share this video with a friend. Please give it a like if you enjoy this, and subscribe so you'll get all the rest of our content. Here's the log of the Abbott Low. Day 1. July 9th, sailed from College Point at 11:25 a.m. carrying the flag of Messrs. A. Low and Brothers. At masthead and at rear mast, flag of white ground with a blue cross and star in the center. Also the code, signal goodbye. At 3 p.m., bid goodbye to wife and children at Coney Island Point. As Fire Island dips out of sight, the feelings of my heart cannot be told. July 10th, day 2. The day is fair, wind from southwest, and my son is sick. Engine is doing well. July 11th, cooked our first meal since we left home. Engine is doing well. I am off George Banks. I can see the fishermen, and I have made a mistake. I should have east-southeast for my true course, and my magnetic course by a westerly variation, but I have changed my course southeast, half south. Bound for the southern passage across. I now realize I am on the ocean and must do all I can to get across. Weather cloudy and foggy. We are now about 380 miles from New York. July 12th, the 4th day. Weather fine. Engine doing splendid. I have great difficulty in getting my bearings. The only means I have is the North Star, which, when it is behind clouds, I cannot get it. My only instruments are my compass and my barometer. July 13th, the 5th day out, and a beautiful Sunday. We feel now reconciled, held our little church service, and thank God for his keeping us. The engine is working away like a good fellow with no trouble whatever. We sighted a French bark, got our first bearings, latitude 3910, longitude 6220. July 14th, the 6th day out, calm. The engine is doing well. At 1 o'clock, we stopped the engine on account of some bearings running hot. July 15th, 7th day out, saw a steamer in the distance going in the same course as we are. Got my bearings of the North Star, variation 2030, west of true north. I have a good mind to change my course and go further north, as I will be more in connection with the steamers. Engine working away like a good fellow. At 4 p.m., the sea began to get very high, and at 8 p.m. came to on our drag, but boat would only lie to by stern. The night is dark, and we are in our first storm. July 16th, 8th day out, stormy, with high sea running from the south, wind increasing with violent gusts. I am worried about my boat not lying to the wind. I have resorted to all means, but they are of no avail. Daylight has come, and the ocean is something frightful to behold. Seas are like mountains. During the night, I used 2 gallons of fish oil. But during the day, the seas were longer, and my mind more at ease. As I find the little launch rides the waves in safety. Night is coming with no sign of any let up. July 17th, 9th day out, begins with no hope of good weather, and the night has been a trying one. 8 a.m., the wind is going down, and the barometer is rising. Made some coffee to warm my body as I am almost exhausted. July 18th, 10th day out. Started the engine at 4 a.m., but I'm afraid we'll have to shut it down soon. 7 a.m., passed the steamer St. Louis and exchanged salutes. At 8 a.m., the wind backed around to southwest, and at 9 a.m. came to on our drag again, wind blowing strong with an awful storm from the northwest. 8 p.m. The night is dark, raining, and blowing so hard we had to use some more oil, and we tossed about so hard that our kerosene tanks are beginning to leak. July 19th, 11th day. Beginning with little hope of improvement, and I have 5 inches of kerosene in my bilge. 12 o'clock, the wind is going down. At 4 p.m., used my torch for steamer. Hard work nights is using me up, and my eyes are getting dim. I cannot see so well at night. I think I see a light when it is only a big wave that appears high in the Gulf Stream. At 9 p.m., started the engine. July 20th, 12th day out, and our second Sunday at sea. The weather is fair, the wind and sea going down, and we are making good time. The engine is doing its best without any trouble. Held our little meeting and remembered the Sabbath day. We passed the Deutschland at 3 p.m. going west. July 21st, 13th day out. Begins fair, and ocean is coming smooth again, so we have a breathing spell. I mended up my sea anchor and gave the boat a good overhauling. Found 5 of my 85 one-gallon cans of kerosene empty. The engine is doing fine, and we passed a steamer in the offing to south of us at 1 p.m. July 22nd, 14th day out, with the sea heaving in from the north, and it looks bad in the south with the now and then lightning. My boy is not well. I gave him something to take, and he showed his first day of homesickness. The day is turning out fine, making good time, and the engine does good work. July 23rd, 15th day out. At 4 p.m., stopped the engine as kerosene was leaking from the tanks. Got a good breakfast, and at 11 a.m., got underway with the engines, but the sea is so rough and high we cannot make headway, so came to again at 12 p.m. July 24th, 16th day out. The sea is high. I am not feeling well. The voyage is telling on me. The rolling, constant sitting and steering is fast pulling me down, and the sea tosses the boat about so. My after tank leaks about 15 gallons a day. I figure myself in mid-ocean, and the engine is doing well. July 25th, 17th day out. The wind is light, not much sea. Stopped the engine at 8 p.m. to pick up pumps and get a good breakfast. Started the engine at 11 a.m., but as wind and sea are against us, our progress is slow. July 26th, 18th day out, and fine weather. The English Hicksum from South Shields hailed us and asked if we were all right. The captain gave me my bearings, latitude 43:34 north, longitude 40:26 west. I thanked him. We dipped our flags and sailed on, our engine doing well. July 17th, July 27th, 19th day out, our third Sunday at sea. Wind northeast with high rolling sea. The barometer fell 0.2 at 4 a.m. Came to on our drag, but started again at 6 a.m. This is the highest sea I have ever saw, and if we get a storm with it, our chances will be small. My boy is in good health, but I suffer from weary work and care. The voyage is telling on me, and I have much pain. We held our Sabbath day service at 4 p.m. The steamer Patrician from Liverpool hailed us, and we reported all well. Engine doing fine. July 28th, 20th day out. Fair with light winds. Engine is doing fine, and I am feeling better. Emptied my after tank of oil into the forward tank. This makes hard work for me. As the little boat rocks and rolls about so, it is hard to move about. It is impossible to get our food regularly, as the boy has to steer while I keep things in shape, and my hours are from dark to daylight. Steering, then to look after things. The oil tanks leaking causes me a lot of trouble, but the engine works all right and gives me no bother. July 29th, 21st day out, and on account of the flywheel of the engine running in kerosene, had to stop to repair my tanks. I do not know what I can do, as my strength is giving out fast. We stopped at 8 a.m., and slept until 12 o'clock, then tore down the bow partition and found the leak in the tank. At 8 p.m., got ready, and after taking some more rest, got underway at 10 p.m. But the night was so dark, and a high sea running came to a stop at 1 p.m., and in my condition, thought it better to rest. July 30th, 22nd day out, and it is not very promising. The wind is ahead. Started engine at 10 a.m., but we are not making much headway. Our general condition looks blue just now, but hope for the best. There is an awful sea and a high swell. At 7 p.m., came to a stop to wait for more favorable conditions. July 31st, 23rd day out, and it is fine, the best we have had for a long time. I am somewhat straightened out again. The old tanks leak about 10 gallons a day, which causes hard work to put back in the tanks. The engine is doing splendid, and we are pushing on to England as hard as the engine will drive us. The weather is sunny and warm, and our condition is a little better. August 1st, 24th day out, but it does not look very promising, and we came to on our drag at 12 a.m. Then went below to get something to eat. In less than half an hour, the steamer Kroonland of the American line came right for us and asked if we were all right. I told them yes and wished to be reported. The passengers cheered us, and as she went by, we dipped our flags. At 4 p.m., it looks very bad, and the wind is increasing. At 8 p.m., the night is dark, raining, and wind blowing, and the sea is getting awfully high. It is a bad night. I do not know what will become of us. August 2nd, 25th day out, and we are in an awful condition. The sea is high, blowing with rain, but I think we have had the worst of the storm. At 4 p.m., wind changed to northwest, and it makes a very rough sea. Inside, we are swimming in kerosene. The tanks leak so the man that made them ought to be here with me. At 12 p.m., the storm is not over yet, heavy squalls and blowing with all its might, but the Abbott Low rides the waves, thank God. August 3rd, 26th day out, and our fourth Sunday. We had our little service, and thank God for our keeping. We are still laboring in high seas. Our clothing is all saturated with kerosene, and we have not tasted food in 30 hours. The wind is going down some, and at 2 p.m., the steamer Mayland from Glasgow bore down on us and asked if we needed any assistance. I told him no, but would like to be reported. I also asked him for his longitude, but did not get it as the sea was too high to get near. We did not dip flags, as a big sea broke over the steamer. At 6 p.m., came to on our drag again. The night is dark, raining, and blowing. I am very ill, bleeding, and very tired. My son is keeping up bravely. August 4th, 27th day out, and we have another breathing spell for ourselves. There is not much wind, but it looks bad all around. We started our engine at 4 a.m., but do not know how long, as the barometer is very low yet. But we are here and have to make the best of it. I have my kerosene under control. I think I have lost about 25 gallons to the best of my judgment. My sea anchor was nearly gone when I hauled it up, the bridles and eyelets being badly chafed. At 7 p.m., came to on my drag again. The wind is strong for the northeast. I cannot take chances in my condition, so I will wait till daylight. August 5th, 28th day out, and we have another storm on us. It is frightful. We are tossed about in an awful manner. The hardships of this voyage are more than I thought for. We cannot hold out much longer. The barometer is rising some. We are making slow progress. The seas are high. The night is dark and the night is dark and stormy, but we are riding very good. The only fear is my sea anchor giving out on me before I can get to it for repairs. August 6th, 29th day out, and we are still lying to on our drag anchor with no sign of letting up. The wind and sea are creeping up. The barometer is 29.90 at 10 a.m. We started engine and are making good time. The weather is bad, but we are pushing so hard to get across the Atlantic. My sea anchor was badly damaged when I hauled it up, but thank God, I can mend it all right. At 8 p.m. came to on our drag again, as the night was squally and I am worn out and sick. August 7th, 30 days out, and it is fair with a good breeze. Started engine at 5 a.m. and we are doing good work. Passed a steamer to the north of us going west. At 5 p.m., stopped to clean the valves and started again at 9 p.m. My health is very poor and I am losing ground fast. August 8th, 31st day out. The wind is east and blowing very fast, and we came to a stop at 8 a.m. for rest. My health is poor and I suffer much pain. I cooked a good meal and then straightened things. We have found another source of trouble. The barnacles on our bottom are about 1 inch long. I tried to get them off, but they have come to stay. I hope we will get to land soon. August 9th, 32nd day out. Started the engine at 3 a.m., but wind breezed up again at sunrise and came to a stop at 9 a.m. This is hard, but I have to take what comes. Started again at 2 p.m., and we are struggling against wind and sea. Came to again at 9 p.m. as my strength gave out. August 10th, 33rd day out, and the wind remains the same. I fell asleep and my boy calls me at 1 p.m. I feel better now. My son stood watch over me for 4 hours this night. Started engines at 3 a.m. The wind is changing. We are pushing on once more. We held our little Sabbath day service. The sun is coming out, the first for a long time. The engine is doing fine. 2 steamers passed us going west. We had our last can of soup today. Our stores are getting low, but we have plenty of bread. August 11th, 34 days out, and we are making good time with engine, and we are nearing the end of our voyage. If the weather holds good, we will see land in a day or so. At 4 p.m., we get on our soundings. Saw other birds, and our friend the haggler has left us. At 9 p.m., a steamer passed us going west. If my position is right and the weather stays fine, we are all right. My boy feels happy. August 12th, 35th day out. It is raining and wind is fresh from the northwest. But we are pushing our engine. Stopped at 7 o'clock to repack the pumps and started again at 8 o'clock. We had a good breakfast. It has been a hard day. Some cold and wet from the rain. Came to our drag at 6 p.m. The barometer is falling. Have no bearings. My condition is poor. I must keep sea room as I think we are only 50 miles from the Scilly Islands and cannot take chances. August 13th, 36th day out. We started engines at 5 a.m. At 8 a.m., met a fishing steamer. Got my bearings from him. We are 90 miles from the Scilly Islands now, and if the wind and weather remain as they are, we will be in Falmouth tomorrow at 11 a.m. The wind is going down some, and we are speeding for all she can go. August 14th, 37th day out. We have not sighted land yet. I am looking for it, but my eyes are so poor I cannot see far. It was a trying night. My dear boy sat steering for me whilst I was looking for the Bishop light. At 5 a.m. we made the light. We are not more than 2 miles from it, and thank God, the wind has gone down. The sun is coming out. Past the Scilly Islands at 7 a.m. Past Seven Stones Lightship at 9 a.m. Land's End and Wolf Rock at 11 a.m. and the Lizard Light at 3:15 p.m. Here the tide ran with violence against me, and the water is very rough. At 6 p.m., cast anchor in Falmouth, and my ocean voyage has ended. That was the log of the Abil Abbott Low, the first Atlantic crossing for a powerboat of that size and horsepower. Although their arduous journey did not end there, it became significantly more pleasant. They spent 2 weeks in Falmouth, England, where the captain was under the care of a physician because he had lost 30 pounds in that 36 days. Also, during those 2 weeks, the boat was completely refitted and the tanks were fixed. Everything was done on the boat to bring it back up to new standard. While he was over there in England, he also visited his parents, whom he left at the age of 14. The boat, however, did not make the trip back to America. We lost the light.
Keep going.
They made the trip back on a steamship. The vessel, the 38-foot Abiel Abbott Low, was donated to a charitable foundation for missions to proclaim the gospel, and they used that boat in missions in New Guinea. So I don't know where the boat is now. Somewhere in New Guinea, maybe, if it survived.
Boats travel.
Right. So they did spend some time in Europe before coming home. They came home on the steamship Crown Prince, and they made it back to America. A very successful trip. When he got back to America, the New York Kerosene Oil Engine Company offered him a check for $10,000 for making that passage for them, and he actually refused the check. They were not unhappy about that, but they wanted him to have something for his journey and everything that he had accomplished. So they offered him to build a boat for $10,000. So they outfitted him with a 40-foot, I believe the same kind of vessel with all the brand new trimmings and everything, and he named that vessel A.A. Low for Augustus Abbott Low. And he drove that around, I believe, Maine Harbor, and had parties on it and used it as like a charter boat.
What kind of fuel tanks do you think they put on it?
Probably, they probably fixed made the corrections to the original oil tanks, fuel tanks. Kerosene oil. They had kerosene oil, so I keep calling them oil tanks, fuel tanks. So yeah. So it was just a really cool story. It was just a really cool story, and that poor man suffered and suffered. Like, you can feel how much he does not want to be on that passage. So yeah, they took with them, they had 800-gallon fuel capacity. They only used 440 gallons and could have made the trip there and back. But like I said earlier, one trip across the Atlantic was enough for him. So they made it home safe and sound. The good little ship, the Abiel Abbott Low. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you found as much interest in the trip over as we did. And if you like that video, please share it with a friend, give us a like, and subscribe so you'll get all our content. Thanks for watching.